What's going on, guys? How are we? I hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful morning so far. We're going to be starting off this podcast in 2 minutes. So if you're coming in live, guys, this morning, I would love for you to say hello and hi in the comments. Let us know what you're up to this weekend. We're going to be kicking start in 2 minutes, guys, with a big episode of the podcast. I'm super, super pumped to be back and sharing your earbuds with you this morning. So what's going on for the weekend, guys? Make sure you're saying hi. Don't just tune in. Let me know if you're watching, guys. All right, we are going to be ripping this a big one. I'm super, super pumped. Mr. Lewis, how are you, mate? Hey, great to speak to you yesterday as well, Chris. I really appreciate your time, my man. Good morning, Lise. How you doing? Ooh, warming up for a nice little Christmas, Lise, hopefully. All right, we're going to start in a minute and a half, guys. Don't mind my morning tunes. Hopefully, they're not too loud for you. Good morning, Renee. Ooh, I love the fact that you are getting so involved right across the board, Renee. It is so good, mate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's only benefiting your transformation, Renee. Christo says 10,000 steps before 6:30. Wow. Mate, I'm not there yet. But it's coming. Well done, Christo. Well done. We're going to get started in 1 minute, guys. 1 minute till rock and roll. Yeah, that's what I reckon, Lisa. I reckon it's a bit of a show-off, isn't it? Definitely a show-off. So we've got a big episode coming in today, guys. So I'm super, super pumped to be bringing this one to you. Good to beat you. Yeah. Well, it's not a race, Chriso, is it? Comparison's the thief of joy, they say. Good morning, Danny Troutman. How are you, my main man? I love you, Danny. I hope you're warming up to a good Christmas, brother. 30 seconds. We are going to get started, guys. You got it. 30 seconds. We are going to get started. We're going to be talking about the quickest way to get what you want. It's a very provocative title, isn't it? All right, so let's just slowly fade away on the tunes. All right. So I think we're ready to get started. Good morning, Trav. How are you, my brother? Thanks for your company this morning, Trav. Let's get rocking, guys. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. So let's count it down together. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to the Better Body Academy podcast. This is the podcast you come to when you're sick of the dumb diets, unsustainable workout programs. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the quickest way to get to what you want. This is a very provocative title, and I think it's quite natural that we all want to get results as quickly as possible. But before we get into today's episode, I want to start by talking about something that I am personally super proud of for myself and my little mini family. We're doing a gratitude challenge today inside of the Better Body Academy. One of the things that I'm super proud of and grateful for is having the ability to be able to walk with my 2 legs. Yesterday, we finished off the 100th day, the 100th straight day of 10,000 steps. Round of applause. I'm not going to self-endorse any more than that. But for me, this was a goal that Claudia and I wanted to get to. Prior to this, I was looking back at my average step count from before I started tracking my steps. And it was in and around 3,000 to 5,000 steps a day. That's not very much for a coach, right? But because I was desk bound the majority of the day, that's exactly why it had happened. Okay. It had got to the point where I was so desk bound, working with clients, doing trainings, etc., that my own personal step count was about 3,000 to 5,000 per day. So how did this form? This formed because when we were in Europe back in, August, September, whenever it was, we started this activity accidentally. We started it because we had no gym. Okay, we had no gym to go to because we were moving around. Then by around 20, 21 days, this habit had formed. So we just continued on with the habit. The lesson learned here is that habit forms by repetition. Repetition is the strongest force in the world. When you repeat something over and over and over again, I want you to almost have this image that it's like sinking down 1 millimeter at a time into your bones before it's so embodied in you that it sticks. So for me right now, doing 10,000 steps is so habitual that it's almost harder to not do 10,000 steps as it is. And I'm set up to track it. It's on my phone, it's on my watch. We talk about it first thing in the morning. When are we going to do our walk? And so I just wanted to share with you this little win for me, because I think for you, this could be something that, particularly through this Christmas period, is really easy to continue, even despite having, some big meals, maybe a few withdrawals, as we call them inside of BBA. Okay. So the subject of today's podcast is to corner a nerd. I'm going to say that, corner a nerd. To all of you that are kind of thinking about, you have recollections of like being bullied or being a bully back in the school days. That's definitely not what I'm talking about when I say corner a nerd. Inside of Better Body Academy, we operate by something we call the Bible, okay? The Bible for us is the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. We hold it dear to our hearts like a Catholic would hold their Bible. Our Bible is Atomic Habits. And for good reason. This book is a very, very simple book that illustrates how to go about the formation of habits. Now, if you are part of James Clear, the author's email list, you would know that he emails one high-quality email once per week with some amazing insights. And I'm going to draw upon one of those insights in this podcast. Yesterday, it was this statement. He lists a bunch of quotes, and this was the statement. By the way, let me know if you actually are on James Clear's email list, because after, you should go to his website, just Google search Atomic Habits and go and sign up. It's a once a week email with nothing to purchase, okay? So this was the quote that he put. One of the best strategies for learning something quickly is to corner a nerd. One of the best strategies to learn something quickly is to corner a nerd. Find someone who totally geeks out on the topic that you want to better yourself at and ask them every question you can think of. I love that so much. I love it because for me, it encapsulates the essence of why you need a coach. So let me ask you a question. 3 questions, in fact, and we're going to talk always like we do about health, wealth, and relationships. And let me seriously ask you the question. Are you happy with your current health and fitness? Are you happy, number 2, with your current financial status? And number 3, are you happy with your current quality of your relationships, be they romantic relationships or family relationships? I'm going to assume that for anyone listening live or watching later on replay, listening later on replay, that the answers is going to be one of 2 things. It's going to be one, a hard no. No, I'm not happy with my health. No, I'm not happy with my finances. No, I'm not happy with the quality of my relationships. Or it's going to be, I am happy, but I would like them to be even better. Because we know that it's effectively infinite, right? It's limitless. Going into my 40th year of life on the planet, I'm discovering that, you know what, I can keep pushing this and pushing this and pushing this. But in either situation, whether you're a hard no, you're not happy, or you're happy, but you would like a little bit more, in either of those situations, I want you to ask yourself, what is it that separates you from where you want to go? In our mastermind program, we talk about this and we call it the gap. The gap is, here is where you currently are. Over here is where you want to go. The gap is what's in between. So what separates you from getting to where you want to go? And I'm going to tell you that what separates you, for example, from getting the healthy body that you want to get to or the healthy mindset that you want to get to is that, number 1, You just don't yet have the tools. That's not to say that the tools don't exist. It's that you haven't yet got them and embodied them, okay? In the same way that a builder can't build a house without tools, you cannot build the right body or a body that you're proud of or a mindset that you're proud of without the tools. You need the tools, number one. And number two is you don't have the accountability and support that you need to help you get there, to pick you up when you're struggling. So gap life is about getting from here to here. And in doing so, whether it's finances, relationships, or health, you need to get the tools and you need to get the accountability to cross that gap. Does that make sense? In the comments. I did exactly the same thing when I was looking to get across this gap. I've talked about this many times, but during my coaching career, in the first 6 years of coaching, I made a grand total of, let me hear it, $1,500 in 6 years. Well below the poverty line, okay? But I knew that someone out there was doing what I wanted to do. So I used to Google how to be a good coach, how to get clients, how to create Facebook posts. What I know about you is that if you're inside the Better Body Academy, before you started, you used to Google things like, how do I lose weight? Or you used to YouTube search, how should I train to lose weight? Or you did things like bought Manshake to try to get things happening quickly. If you came into my world, or if you're looking to come into my world, you either know me already, or you read my posts for a period of time, you listened to the podcast, you scoped out my stuff for some period of time until you were comfortable that you were ready to change and I was the one to be able to help you. Am I correct or not? Am I correct or not? This is exactly how it happens. And if you've come in via way of one of the other Better Body Academy coaches, it's exactly the same thing. I did the exact same thing with my first business coach. I binged listened to 50 episodes of his podcast. I did that. That's exactly what I did. And I read all of his posts. And I thought to myself, wow, this is the free stuff. The paid stuff must be amazing. So I signed up when I felt like I knew him, trusted him, and liked him. I did the same with my now current business coach, who is the coach of my first business coach. Yep, I've gone up a level. I did all the research. I looked all of his free stuff. But at a certain point, I realized that consuming free stuff doesn't get you anywhere. You have to go all in on yourself. Are you feeling me, guys, if you're watching at home? Does this make sense? This is the research phase where you're preparing to take action. And some of you that are still inside the Better Body Academy are still kind of preparing to take action. Guys, you've got to rip the scab off here. I don't consider you a tire kicker. You're just not at the point where you're ready to go all in on change. Let me tell you from experience, you can do all the research in the world about becoming a better coach, becoming a better employee, becoming a better mum or dad, becoming better at fitness, whatever it is. You can do all of the research in the world, but nothing happens until you take action. I am a big, big advocate of reading books, but I read so much on how to become a better coach without actually taking action that it dawned on me that reading all of these books was actually a form of procrastination. Do you see how that works? I'm reading a book, reading and reading all these new books, thinking that it feels like I'm taking action, but actually all I'm doing is just preparing and preparing and preparing and preparing. I'm not taking action. Does this make sense? So I'm a big advocate of reading books, but you have to move into action. Now, everyone wants their results fast, right? We all want results fast. So when James Clear states that one of the best strategies for learning something quickly is to corner a nerd, I know exactly what he means. If you're looking for advice on how to change your health, your mindset, and you're doing it all yourself, you are basically reinventing the wheel. Okay? I'm going to say that again. If you're looking for advice on how to change your mindset, change your body, and you're looking to do it yourself, you are effectively reinventing the wheel. I already have the answers. My client group already has all the answers if you are ready. In fact, when you think about the idea of coaching, what coaching actually is, like, guys, for you in the academy, I want you to think about this because this is really important. When you think about the idea of coaching, what coaching actually is a transfer of tools from one person who's an expert in a certain area to another person who's not yet an expert in that area. Does that make sense? That's actually all coaching is. You're paying to access their IP, their knowledge, so that if you can suck up what's in here and you get it into your brain, you're going to achieve the same outcomes because you now have the tools. So if any of you have ever been involved with a sporting coach, it's exactly the same thing. The coach would get sacked pretty quickly if they didn't know the rules of the game, right? Of course, they'd get sacked quite quickly. When I contract my coaches, okay, I am paying to access their IP because I don't want to struggle anymore. And I pay through the bloody teeth for business coaching. But I value the fact that I don't want to reinvent the wheel. The wheel already exists. I've learned what it's like to struggle long enough when I can pay to access someone who's already done it. Does that make sense? I want to model their wheel and try to work out how to make their wheel even better. When someone comes in as a coach inside Better Body Academy, be it Mike, be it Nikki, be it Cords, be it Carly, they're coming in, but part of the reason why they're not doing it alone is that they know they can access the wheel from me and put their own tint on it. This is why you get a coach. I was at our, we're in a hotel at the moment in Maui in Hawaii. I was at our pool complex the other day. And it was a really, really interesting conversation as Ocean and I were sitting in the spa, listening to a couple about 5 to 10 meters away, sitting on some deck chairs, having a conversation. Okay. It was a pretty overweight couple being talked to by a slightly less overweight couple about how they'd lost 10 kilograms in 6 weeks. The statements they were making were, we've cut out bread, we've cut out meat, we've cut out beer, we no longer eat rice, we no longer eat potatoes, wheat is off, and we don't eat any seafood. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is left to actually eat? It's like the fucking blind leading the blind. When you try to run your own race, you're like your own blind self trying to lead the blind. I was talking to a potential client yesterday, and they were telling me that they'd been working for years trying to solve their weight issues. They've tried this, they've tried that. So I've asked them, what have you tried? I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried that, try that, try that, try that, try that, try that, try that. And I knew, I could see straight plainly in front of me where they were going wrong. I've told them that the issue that you're having here, I've solved with exactly 104 men, helping them to lose 10 kilos or more, but they wanted to continue to prefer to struggle on their own. The idea that James Clear talks about in this email about cornering a nerd is finding someone that completely geeks out on the shit that you want to know. That's the only way to become successful, is work out what's in their brain and get it into yours. And when you try to figure things out on your own, it's the equivalent of me telling you, hey, you want to be a millionaire. Okay, cool. Here's a box with $1 million in it. Do you want to open it up? And you say to me, oh, nah, Jace, I'd prefer to find my own box. It's fucking ludicrous. A lot of people don't value coaching because they think that it's a waste of money to pay for knowledge when you can try to figure it out on your own. What they are missing is that they're wasting years of their life trying to solve a problem that's already been solved. It's the reason I stopped trying to work out my own way, and now I give my money to a professional to invest on my behalf. Because if I continue to try to do it on my own, it's sluggish and I'm trying to learn all the rules. And you know what? I don't enjoy it that much. Or I can just give it to someone that knows how to do it and they take care of it for me. I pay a professional to help. Does this make sense? Guys, to conclude this episode, to those of you that are in the BBA, I'm speaking directly to you. Okay, to those of you that are in the BBA, I'm speaking directly to you. You have done the first step and you've cornered a health and fitness nerd. Okay. This ugly looking Maltese, half Australian wog knows this shit. And if you are not on a mission to get everything out of my head into yours, you're missing an opportunity. In fact, that's what the mastermind program is about. It's a transfer of knowledge and belief. Once you accumulate the mindset and the tools of your coach, then you've effectively got the skills to move on to the next skill and the next high level thing that's going to change your life. And if you're not in the academy, I want you to know that we already have your answers. And guess what? I've transferred my knowledge to hundreds of clients that are still inside the academy. So it's not just me you're getting help from. It's guys like Travis and Lisa that are listening and watching to this podcast. It's guys like Dan Troutman who understand, who in the comments here were Googling food to burn fat, when in reality, once we gave them the answers, they could now teach it to you. When you join the academy, you don't have one coach. In the women's academy, you have 120 other coaches. And in the men's academy, you have 160 other coaches. Guys, it's a transfer of knowledge. And I'm going to finish off with saying the statement again, because I think it's just so brilliant. And I want you to think about this statement anytime you want to change something in your life, whether it's your level of happiness, whether it's learning to meditate, whether it's becoming a writer, whether it's getting a website done. It doesn't matter what the skill is. Someone out there already has the skill. So for you to try to figure that skill out on your own, you're playing the longest, slowest game. If you want results quickly, you need to corner a nerd and just ask so many questions. People send me messages and say, I'm sorry to ask another question, Jace. No, that's exactly what I want you to do. I want you to ask more and more and more questions so that you get what's in my head into yours and start being successful in the area that you want to perfect. And if it's not me, if it's another fitness guru, or if it's another business guru, or whatever it is, corner the nerd that you feel like you know, like, and trust, and get what's in their head into yours. Guys, this has been a pumped up episode of the Better Body Academy podcast. I hope it's been valuable. And to those of you that are watching live, thanks so much for supporting the podcast. It's often the same people turning up. And these are the guys that are winning and the girls that are winning every single day. So congratulations, guys. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next episode.